Good morning, everyone. Welcome. Happy Thursday to you. Took a pre-market position this morning. Let's see if it works out for me. Able to make it down to 738 prior to making it back to 765. See if we can get that. Let's see, who do we have in the chat here? Holly, good morning. Samson, Zoella, Deepak. Oh, from Kenya. All right. Well, glad to have you. I know it's probably late evening for you. Or I'm sorry, not late evening, late afternoon. Yeah, okay. All right, let's see. I know yesterday I announced that we were going to have some high impact news events this morning. Let's go and check and see how those events unfolded. All right, so preliminary GDP slightly above forecast, just 1/10 of a point above. Unemployment claims came in 1,000 above forecast, so slightly more than they thought. So better GDP number, slightly worse unemployment. I would consider this probably the same. It's less than a 1% difference. 1,000 over 218,000, probably not that much. So I would consider those about the same. Preliminary GDP 3.0 versus 3.1, slightly less. We do have one more event coming at 10. They're going to announce the pending home sales month over month. Forecast is for that to be a 1% decline. We'll see how that comes in. That's in about 40 minutes. In about 10 minutes, we have the opening bell. Let's also look and see how we've been trading overnight and through the London session for all the indices. Start to the far left. USD traded lower from the high positions of yesterday through the night. This is London just consolidating. And then after London opened, we saw the market start to fall. Fell into a fair value gap here where it's found some level of support for the last 2 hours, where it's pushed down into both hours and rejecting both times back above the fair value gap. So we'll see in the next 40 minutes how this candle eventually closes out. And we look over at the Dow. Okay. So overnight, slight decline in price, pretty much consolidation since London's open from 2 o'clock this morning. Now we traded into a fair value gap on S&P where it found some support and it started to push higher from the low of the fair value gap, even closing higher on the last hour, trading back into it this hour and rejecting higher. So we'll see how price reacts again. 10 minutes we'll have the opening bell, and then in 30 minutes we'll have another news event. We had something very similar happen in Nasdaq, except Nasdaq has already run into some resistance at fair value gap, whereas S&P still has not done that yet. It's a little bit higher, up at 52.74. Nasdaq already reached it. As a matter of fact, it pushed all the way through, however, rejected and closed below during the last hour. And then we saw this hour pick up and start to sell off. And that was the entry that I took, hoping that it would push lower into the fair value gap down here around 739, 738. That was the TP I was looking for. So we'll see if we get there. Okay, looking to see if we had SMT or anything. Couldn't really recognize. I don't usually take pre-market trades, so this is a bit new for me. So probably going to at least move into break even now, just in case. So if things don't work out, then I'll just basically a no risk trade here. With the exception of some whipsaw action at 9:30, if price just kind of slings up in 1 or 2 seconds, and it's going to be no way for my stop loss to stop me at break even, but we'll see. See who else we got. We got Daz, Caesar, Orcus. All right, so that cancels me out there. Break even. Wasn't quite able to get down there. Hey, Justin, Milad, Bridget, Ben, J Stock. What's up? Morning, everyone. All right, so that only got about 17 points. I was trying to get 25 and got about 17, and then came back to break even on me. I draw it back up. Do a little check in on the 4 hour here. Right now, I'm going to go and make sure that all of my markers are up. 8:30 open, midnight open, that kind of thing. Right, so we have the opening bell coming in about 30 seconds. Let me just take a quick peek. All right, London high taken. London low is open. Asia low traded through. Asia high traded through. Okay, so we only have the London low. Mm-hmm. There was my entry. There was the trade I had. Yep, it was 63 down to 38 was the trade. Let's see if it makes it to 38 this time. I think it was at the bottom of this fair value gap. Could have been. JR, Skylar, what's up? What's going on, everyone? Hey, Shark. All right, a bit of a mixed bag here in the opening bell when comparing to the other indices, but we'll give it some time. We still have a high impact news driver coming at 10, and then from there we'll look at potential entries for this morning. Hopefully by then we have the indices in sync and utilize an inverse relationship with the USD. Take a look at what the regular trading hour gap is. $7.95 down to $7.65. If only I could have held my trade longer. For anyone new to the channel, the fair value gaps you see are from the 1 hour. They're always from the 1 hour unless I specifically draw them on that time frame, and generally I'll put a marker in the corner of the fair value gap so you know what time frame it came from. And we've had about a 40-point rejection so far since pushing down to right around 18,700. All right, we're almost 15 minutes into the 15 minutes into the opening bell here. We have about another 15 minutes to go before our next high impact news drivers release. That's the last release of the day, and from there we should be able to trade without interruption. I'm surprised. I thought we would have a much larger reaction from the 8:30 news event, especially since price for the last couple of days has just not been extremely reactive with a pretty small range. And so I thought this morning would have a much larger range from the news event at 8:30. But for the most part, it just produced this one candle here, which is about, I don't know, 35, 40 points. And then from there, it just immediately retraced once it traded into this hourly bearish fair value gap. See anyone in the room trade the London session this morning? Okay, Zoella, you did excellent. Were you able to catch along somewhere between the hours of like 3 and 5 o'clock New York time? Oh, JR, you did as well. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at actually that. Whoa. Wait a minute. You got in at 660. Wow. Damn, TJ. Man. And that was all it needed to tap you out, and then it was ready to go. Man. Hey, Tehran. What's up? Good morning. Yeah, that's a tough one, TJ. Damn. Yeah, you caught the very, very bottom. I was just getting ready to show the setup this morning and just show everyone how it unfolded. Damn. Yeah, this was your little cluster right here, TJ. Damn, by just a point. But yeah, this one this morning it tried to trick you because initially this is what I would have grabbed as I would have grabbed this as the breaker because this is how I would have saw it unfolding as it was trading down the line. We'd call this as the pullback, this as the extension down, and then this candle right here closed above. So I would have been taking an entry somewhere in here, knowing full well that it could come down to at least this wick right here at 658 and 3/4. The only thing is it dipped below even over here. So if you had your stop right here, you would have got stopped out and would have needed to re-enter. So it's slightly more tricky than normal just because of these two wicks right here. And so for those who are a little bit more patient and took this as their breaker, let's see. Yep. Yeah, you would have had to take in this, which then was confirmed over here at 310. traded back into the following candle and out. So that would have been the easiest way to get it. But like I say, I would have most likely, there's probably no doubt this would have been my breaker setup. And so it would have been a bit more tricky, but it's the bottom. And if price continues higher today, that's going to turn out to be the sweetest entry that you could have gotten. And that's only for those who traded London. If you didn't trade London, we'll see if this ends up being it at 935. All right, we have the macro comment, and I'm just over a minute here. But since we have a news driver coming at 10, I'm not going to look for an entry here during the macro. Okay, I'll grab it. All right, TJ. Man, TJ, if you're up trading London, when do you sleep? Yeah, I see it now, TJ. Damn. 660. Sell at 659. Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of times the optimal entry during London is like right around 3 o'clock. I used to think it was around 2, but it seems like 3 o'clock is more likely to be the optimal entry. $732, Zoella. 678 to 732. Oh, that's a nice trade though. That's sweet. So you got over 50 points, Zoella. Nice. Okay, so somewhere in this retracement, 678 up to 732. Okay, got out somewhere near the top. Wow. Man, if I hit one of those, I might not even be awake now. I'll be back asleep. Yeah, that's true, man. Your emotions are heightened right now. It's probably best to just sit on the sideline for a little bit. You'll probably calm down in a bit, but maybe right now, let price settle. And we have a high impact news driver coming in 5 minutes, so it's probably a good idea anyway. Okay, Zoella, manage a drawdown. All right. Tomorrow's last day of the month. Yeah. Let's see if we get lower prices here down to the equal lows. We just got price to trade up and balance this area here. Also got a retest of the 830 open. Not sure what 715 is, but we'll delete that. And then down till tomorrow. Okay. So London high 889 from yesterday. Yeah, we have the lunch high at 877 and the London high at 889. Both have hourly bearish fair value gaps there. So we could see if those levels are achieved today, we could see some sort of breaker setup forming right in these areas. And then that would work out nicely, Milad. Yeah, let's see if that happens. See if we get a push higher. And we do have some bullish fair value gaps below that price could find support in and move higher. All right, we got about 2 minutes before news is announced. I'm going to go and get a refill of my coffee and I'll be back before the news. Oops. All right, didn't realize my face wasn't there. Here we go. J Stores. Okay, fire drill today at 11. Okay, all right. Thanks for that. Any top step traders? You know what that means? Right, so the news is out now. See how it impacts price. All right, so far it looks like price is not making any big moves based on the news events. Let's at least pull over and take a look and see what the news event was. See what the results are. Oh, okay, penny home sales. Oh, wow. Okay, so they were way off. They thought it would be a negative 1% month over month. It ended up coming in at 7 or 8% below, almost 8% below. And the previous month was an increase of 3.5%. So I'm sure that's not going to drive the dollar higher. So we'll probably see the dollar move just a little bit lower. And with that being said, these our indices are probably moving lower, trying to find a support area to then move higher. Let me measure up this last leg and see what we're looking at. Okay, so we've already had a 61.8% retracement, and now we're duplicating that. It's still not a lot of movement from price, even though we just had the news driver be released. Let's move back over. All right, we can see from that news release, the dollar has started to become or continue bearish, just now eclipsing low of the last hour. And as you can see, still pushing lower. Not a lot of bullish reaction from the indices just yet. So they're still in a holding pattern, it looks like, even though we have S&P and Nasdaq both sitting inside a bullish fair value gap. So they could react bullish at any moment from that area. But we don't have that area to react from on the Dow. It's a little bit lower, so the Dow would need to trade lower, sweeping the London low if it wanted to find a bullish fair value gap here. But if not, if it just wanted to follow the others, it could just start the bullish reaction. Although it does have a sizable bearish fair value gap up ahead. But we are expecting a bullish reaction based on what's going to happen with the dollar and looking for that inverse relationship. Okay, now it is after 10. I'm going to mark up our New York session high and low as well. Oh, sorry about that, Darius. I'm so sorry. This zone right here, this orange, that's not an indicator. It's not an indicator. I'll show you what I was looking at. So we were here on the 1 minute. And so when price swept below this swing low here and pushed lower, so this was at the opening bell, I knew it needed to trade back and come in and balance this price range, right? So it traded back, hit consequent encroachment, and then started trading lower, even though it hit it 2 more times as well. And now it's trading lower once again. So I knew it wanted to balance or mitigate this S&D zone right here. So that's why I drew that up. But that was the only reason. So it's not an indicator or anything. It was just me indicating where I thought price would trade to and then fail. So now that we've swept the New York low, taken some liquidity, found a lower fair value gap here just by the midnight open, we might be able to push up higher from here. Yep. Yeah, Ladarius, breaker is always going to be in blue. I don't want to have 2 different colors, one for bullish and one for bearish. So they'll always be in blue. And yeah, you'll just have to kind of follow where it is to know, right. If we're trading below it, it's a bearish breaker. If we're trading above it, then it's going to be bullish. Yep, you're right, Ladarius. It is, or this area was very choppy. So a lot of times I like to, after high impact news is delivered, I like to sit around for 20 minutes or so and let price settle itself, and then look for an entry after that. You got in at 7:01. All right, sniper. Good job. Bearish 5-minute unicorn setup. Let's look and see. I found this one here on the 1 minute. So that's where this one came from. And if you were here at the very, very beginning, you would have saw I took this entry pre-market. So I was in probably on this candle. So right around 9:20. And it was trading lower. And I moved my stop to break even. And of course, the opening bell came and crashed the party. So I ended up with a break even trade. I should have re-entered, but I didn't. But a 5-minute bearish setup. Yeah, we could be. Mm-hmm. Yep. So 5-minute, I would have probably, you really could take any of these pullbacks because they're about the same, but I would have taken the most recent one. So I would have taken this one. And this is on the 5-minute, even though we have a 1-minute setup already above. So this would be more of a continuation situation. Traded below and closed, traded back in, a consequent encroachment twice. And there it goes. I didn't even notice that. So good eye, El Jefe. Way to see it. Stoic, what's up? Right, so midnight open did get revisited. The London low would be an easy target to grab if they just wanted to grab liquidity and then move higher, because you probably have a lot of people who was in on this entry or somewhere close and have their stop there. I'm just not sure it's going to move that far down to take the low. But I'll give it a little bit more time to show me what it wants to do. We're currently bearish on all time frame. I'm sorry, on all indices as well as a dollar. There you go, sniper. You can continue to practice. All right, 40-point rejection from the low, most recent low. Hey, what's up, Ray? Good morning. T+1 settlement. I'm not familiar with that, Ray. Oh, okay. Got it, Ray. I wasn't sure. I hadn't heard of the T+1 settlement. Oh, it shortens the transaction cycle, reducing risk. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah, I know we're also at the end of the month. We have the final day of the month tomorrow. So potentially, the monthly objective has already been met. Be honest with you, I haven't looked at the monthly chart. Potentially the monthly objective been met already. And so now price is just kind of fumbling around into the next month starts. Oh, okay, sniper. Way to dig out of the hole there. Daz, you missed it. Okay, let's see which one you missed. You said you missed it on a 15. At 7:45. Yep. Okay, it's essentially same as the 815 one. Stretch it across. It's about the same size there. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's a tough one. During your back testing, this is something that I started looking at, and I need to do more testing on it, but it's looks promising. When you're looking at the opening bell at 9:30 and you're looking to see where does the opening bell go, try to find a breaker that was created before. That's it's somewhere in the area that supports price going in the direction that you feel it should for the draw on liquidity. And in a lot of cases, you'll see price during the opening bell trade back into a breaker. We even saw that this morning. This morning we had a 1 minute breaker that was created up here just after 8:30, confirmed around 8:56, traded back into at 8:24, traded below, and then here is 9:30, it traded right back in, and then it dropped, creating equal lows here. So you had a feeling that even with the retracement, it was going to come and get these equal lows, and then it moved even lower. But there was a breaker that was created before the opening bell, and it just traded right into it. So that helps me out a lot in as far as knowing where price may trade into. It didn't help my entry this morning because I did take this entry at 9:24, but I was stopped out at the opening bell and I didn't re-enter. So still working on it, still trying to not only refine the strategy, but mentally flip my brain so I can start taking entries around the opening bell or just after. Move back up to the 5 minute. All right, so of the morning session, the only session highs and lows that are open is we have the London low down at 18,657, and then we have the New York high up at 18,787. So that's about a 130-point range. Yeah, so far we do have lots of wicks here, which you're right, are definitely difficult to trade. Even if you took a long here and was able to ride that back up, the very next candle took you right back down to your entry. Or if you took a short and wrote it down, it came back up before the candle was done. So yeah, tough to get a position and hold it so far this morning. It's more of a scalping condition so far, but we'll see. We're almost at 10:30. still bearish on all indices and the dollar at the moment. Oh man, I didn't realize Apex is doing that. Now I hadn't heard that, TJ. Hopefully it's not true. Because I thought something about if you passed the that recent promotion that you couldn't get your account activated until June 15th. At least I think that's what Queen had said. TJ, are you only on my funded futures? Is that the only prop firm that you're using? It's all you look for, Stoic Trader. Okay. 5 minute break of structure, previous swing high or low. Yeah, I can imagine if you got 20 accounts on those new 250s and you're talking about 5 million in funding, that's going to be a lot of payouts. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, Ray, appreciate that. Yeah, if it's working, stick to it. Don't break from it. All right, we have a new low breaking through the midnight open, sweeping those lows of just after 10 o'clock. We have the London low down at 18,657. So in about another 20 points, we could be at the London low, which is looks like a 3 o'clock level this morning. All right, I'm gonna stick to the sidelines a little bit longer, mainly because of the lack of, I guess, we have S&P and Nasdaq. You see pushing much lower, doing very much the same thing as what the dollar is doing. See a nice bearish candle there for the hour. However, we look at the Dow, and the Dow is just holding position. It did sweep lows, which is what potentially could be happening now for S&P and Nasdaq. But for now, the Dow is holding. So I am a bit optimistic that if we sweep London lows, that we could see a bullish push. But again, I'll wait for a setup to give that to me. I like to see it inside of a fair value gap, so this looks like it's not that promising unless we can get down to around 629. So we need to go a little further than 658. We'll need to get down to 629 and then look for a setup there if we sweep these lows. Yeah. All right, London low in sight, about 12 more points. Oh, dang, Ray, you got accounts everywhere. Yeah, you're good to go then. No matter what happens, you're good. Yeah, that's what I said. She said something about for those who did the promotion with Apex. If you passed, I think you couldn't apply for your funded account until June 15th. I may have heard that incorrectly, but that's what I thought that she said. So there was some type of waiting period. All right, Queen, take care. All right, there's the London low. So we have traded to those equal lows that we had here, relative equal lows. That was also the low of the day. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. I guess I miss heard that. All right. All right, J Stock, take care. Catch you tomorrow. Yep. Sorry guys, didn't mean to confuse everyone. Sorry about that. Yeah, it confirmed that the 9:30, the opening bell confirmed this 5 minute breaker here. Traded back in, and here we are about 100 points later. Let me label these just so people know what we're looking at. Mm-hmm. Oh, Queen, did you take the one at the top, the 1 minute, or did you take the 5 minute just after 9:30? Uh, yeah. So with the breaker, like for instance, this 5 minute breaker right here. So we started with a high to the low, then we swung higher. Now to confirm the breaker, now what we need is it to move lower, and not only move lower, but we need it to close. We can't use a wick. This is to Eddie's question. So when we say confirm, that means it moved lower and the body closed. So this candle right here at 9:30 pushed lower and it closed down here. So if it had just pushed a wick down, then we would have said it's not confirmed yet. So when you're looking at breakers, you want to make sure you get a wick. I mean, I'm sorry, you want to make sure you get a body closure. Body closure. Yeah, we didn't sweep the low on S&P. So Dow went first, sweeping the London low, and then the Nasdaq just did it. However, S&P still has not swept that low. Yep, and you're right, Ray. We do have the macro coming in about 3 minutes. So let me go ahead and shift over. One, two, three. Three trades up to consequent encroachment of the 5 minute breaker. 9:48, 9:49, and 10:06. So 10:06 was the only one that happened inside of the macro. Oh, got it. Okay, Queen, you took the 5 minute. Excellent. All right, we're in the macro now. 10:50 until 11:10. Damn. Yep, this candle right here, Ray. I see what you're talking about. Damn. Yep. So if you missed the breaker entry, this inverse fair value gap could have been an entry. Hmm. 50-point drop from there. Oops. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Ray. We'll find an entry. Don't worry. Sometime this morning or early afternoon, I'm sure. Get a nice entry here. All right, we're about 5 minutes before the close of the hour, and we're still bearish for hourly candles on all three indices and the dollar. Yeah, you're right, Queen. It did. I saw that dump. Now the real dump happened after 10 after 4. But if you're an apex trader, you could have still been in those positions, and the bottom fell out. So, but it was nice to see the setup that I looked at work out, even if it was just after the time. Previous week's low. Okay, let's see that. Okay, 621. 620. Okay, let me go ahead. Let me mark that up just so it's on the screen. Yep, and that actually would make a lot of sense. Um, I'm looking for a turnaround area where it might want to turn around if it wants to be bullish. And since none of that happened in these areas, I was thinking that, especially since it needed to sweep the lows from this morning, which happened to be down here, I was thinking it would go just below that and find some sort of support here before pushing higher. Not realizing previous week's low is right there. So that makes a lot of sense there. And let's see if that's the target. We are still in the macro until 10 after 11. So let's see if we can get down here by then. It's going to take about 40 points, but it's doable. Okay. Thanks, Queen. Appreciate you. Exactly. Yeah, we're doing nothing right now. All right. I'll be back in just give me a couple minutes. I'm going to go and get my last cup of coffee this morning. See you in just a couple. All right, now that let's see, I'm out. Talk to you later. Okay. Yeah. All right, now that the hour has closed, let's go ahead and take a look at our comparison chart once again, just to see where that last hour candle. So this is the dollar. See major, after the news event, see a major push down, large scale candle there, large range. As far as Dow is concerned, gave a good wick above and below, but a small range on the candle body. We saw a large range on S&P as well, push back down. Let's go ahead and measure that up and just see what type of retracement it experienced. Okay, so it made it down 83.5% retracement. However, did not sweep London lows. Now, when we move over to Nasdaq, we've been following it pretty closely, so we know it swept London lows already, and we had another large scale candle. So S&P, Nasdaq, and the dollar basically had large bearish candles during the last hour, whereas the Dow had a small range, but it did sweep the London lows, so that was good. Now we'll see if S&P wants to catch up. It looks like it's selling off this hour, and Nasdaq moved into that area we were looking at, sweeping last week's low and inside of the bullish fair value gap. So let's get back over and watch the Nasdaq on the 5-minute once again. Over 100-point range from the opening bell. Actually, not even opening bell, from 10 o'clock. Oh, Sony, I didn't see what you were looking at. You said 30-second unicorn. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what time you sent that message. I can't really check on it. A little 10-pointer. Okay, got it. Sorry about that. But now that we're down in this area, if we do see a bullish breaker, then we'll look to do something with that. See if we get another push down, and if that previous week's low is then swept. Nope, not yet, Malad. We're still waiting. Um, it got really close. It looks like it got down probably 23, maybe. Okay, 20, 24 flat. All right, so we're looking for either 682, which represents a market structure shift, or 621, which would be a liquidity sweep of the previous week's low. Kurt, yes. So if you're looking at ICT's work and you look into the ICT concepts, you'll find I'm using breaker block. So if you find any breaker block lessons in there, that's what I'm using. And if you match the breaker block and you find a fair value gap inside of the breaker block, that's what ICT refers to as the unicorn setup. So if you see a unicorn setup in any of your materials, then that's what I'm using. Uh, so yeah, you'll see and hear a lot of things. Marking out the 8:30 open with the midnight open. That's also ICT. So I mean, there may be others who also talk about the midnight open, 8:30 open, but majority of the things you see are things that I picked up from studying ICT's material. All right, so we're waiting to see if price would take this previous week's low, which would be a major liquidity grab, and then if we could see price push higher up to maybe where this market structure shift is denoted, that would lead us to trust a long setup. We still haven't swept that low yet, and we do see price starting to build up a bit. So cautiously watching to see what happens next. Hey, Kurt, how long have you been trading, or how long have you been studying ICT concepts? Now, while we're sitting here for just a few moments, let me grab ES and just take a look at how price action's moving. Okay, so ES has been sitting inside of this bullish fair value gap ever since yesterday, trading all the way to the bottom, and this is an hour fair value gap, trading all the way to the lower extremes, and then back higher, closing above, trading back into consequent encroachment, a little bit below. Now we see it continuing to want to be bullish, more bullish than what we're seeing on NQ. All right, so on NQ, we saw a trade down 83.5. And here we're looking at an 88% retracement already. All right, I'll switch back over to NQ now. Yeah. Yeah, I still like this previous week's low. I mean, we can break this market structure shift here at 682, then maybe maybe things could change a bit. But as of right now, you're right, it could be a trap. Yep. 645. All right, Deepak. Good luck on your trade. Looking for 700. Okay, inside of fair value gap. So we got a bearish one right here. Here on the 5 minute. Be a nice 50-point trade if you can get that. Good luck. Step away for about a minute or two. I'll be right back. All right, we're finally starting to resemble somewhat of in sync indices here with inverse relationship with the dollar. Dollar still is showing a bearish candle for the hour, even though it's inside of a bullish fair value gap. But we do see the three indices currently showing a bullish candle for the hour. And that's mostly as we're looking at the Nasdaq, we can see that starting at 1105, we've been bullish. And so for the hour, we do have a bullish candle. All right, we have now pierced what could be a market structure shift. We just need to see where the candle closes. Excuse me, 686. Yes. See if we get a retracement here. Okay, there's that midnight open level. Okay, on the 1 minute, we did get a closure above. So, yep. So we'll get rid of the market structure shift on the 1 minute and we will swing that down where it goes now. And we'll see if this 5-minute candle in the next 30 seconds can also close above. And by having a market structure shift, I was explaining to someone yesterday that when you get a market structure shift, majority of the time, that actually is a confirmed breaker. So we have a low to a high, sweeping to a lower low, now pushing to a higher high and a closure. And there's the confirmation. Actually, we don't need these any longer. In about 15 minutes, we'll have our macro, the next macro coming 11:50 to 12:10. Also, here on the 5-minute, we got this guy. So we have a unicorn. So I'm going to wait until 11:50 and see if we can get price to trade back into, back into the breaker during that time. And since the breaker is a good size here, I want to see if we can get something at consequent encroachment or below. In the meantime, I want to make sure that all the indices are still remaining bullish and that the dollar is still bearish. And at the moment it is. So I'll check back again in 10 minutes and we'll see if we have an entry. Yep, we sure do, Queen. Absolutely. Queen, I hope that you have the same one I have, which is from a 1040 to 1050 candle. Excellent. Awesome. Awesome. Anyone who have issues seeing this as the breaker, just drop down in time frame and it'll become more clear. So you go from the 5 minute that looks like that down to the 4 minute. Still maybe not as clear as you want it. Then you can see the 3 minute looks a lot better, where you can take this swing low up to this swing high, and that's your low to high. Break lower and then break back higher with a closure above this swing high over here. And even if that's not clear enough, you can keep going lower until you find this pullback to be cleaner. I'll get down to the 1 minute and show you what it looks like there. So then this would be the pullback on the 1 minute. So it's the exact same area as the 5 minute. You just see more candles, which may make it easier to see. And as you can see on the 1 minute, there are no fair value gaps up here, even though on the 5 minute, it's right here in the center. I'll take that back. There's a tiny, tiny one here, but one that you would probably use and is most likely this one down here at the very bottom. But yeah, so like I said, if you ever are looking at my screen and I have a breaker that it doesn't look clean to you, just drop down in time frame. You should be able to see it. And then when you get back to higher time frames and you see what it looks like on this time frame, now this would start to make more sense to you in the future, where you can start identifying that as something you can use, knowing that on a lower time frame, it's going to be multiple candles that'll look cleaner for you. All right, Sniper, shorting at 699. Deepak, did you close earlier or are you still waiting for 700? Still waiting? Okay. All right. So close at 690. Okay, it's entry by 1 point. Sniper. Okay, say the series of these a series of up close candles before the bullish order block. Yep. So this would have been your low, your swing low. And this is for Milad. This would have been your swing low at 646. And it's the up, it's the up movement from that swing low before sweeping liquidity. So before it pushed lower. So it's that previous leg. Let me see if 3-minute looks better. Yeah, so it's the up close candles. But I take the entire leg up. I guess some people may do it like this and just say it's these two candles. But I like the entire swing. Okay, you say we're reacting from a 15-minute SIBI. Right, let me go to the 15-minute and see what you're talking about. Yep. Yep. So we're reacting from a 15-minute SIBI. You're right. That's pushed that we believe could push price lower. But you also had to remember we're reacting from a 1-hour BISI. So we have traded into here. This is a 1 hour. This is not a 5-minute, which is the time frame I'm on. This is the 1 hour. So we're also pushing out of a 1 hour, which is an even higher time frame. Granted, we didn't sweep last week's low. Taking that liquidity would have made things a lot easier as far as understanding coming from a higher time frame and where price wants to go. But do keep in mind that we're reacting also from a 1 hour perspective here. Not to mention, we're reacting from that same 1 hour on all three indices, as well as, we'll see what the dollar does, but you have to take all that into account. But I understand your concern because sometimes, you do get caught off sides when you see price bounce back and forth. And we're effectively inside of that 15-minute SIBI right now. So this is the lower extreme of it, around 683 or so. All right. So in that case, if you don't feel comfortable about taking this trade, then you can wait until this previous week's low is taken. I did mention earlier that if we're looking for this breaker setup, I would like to see an entry below consequent encroachment. So somewhere down here, I would like to see price retrace to. For one, this is a large area. And for two, this area here could be traded back to. In fact, I like this area here on the 3-minute. Yeah, another thing we have to realize, and this goes back to we just asked that question. Yeah, another thing back from Mags. Don't forget we did flip market structure on the 1 and the 5-minute. So not on the 15-minute, but on the 1 and the 5, we did flip market structure. So that's another reason to follow bullish momentum. But you bring up a good point. Let me take a look at the 15-minute and see what market structure looks like there. Oh, forgot we are in the macro now, everyone. We are in the macro. Satya, good job. Congrats. Yeah, I know. That weekly low is concerning. It's 60 points below us now, so a bit concerning. We can make it the consequent encroachment, and I'm going to look on maybe like a 15-second or something to see if I get a bullish price pattern. Mm-hmm. Yep. Let's just measure up this most recent price leg. All right. Equilibrium comes at 661. 661. 70.8% is at the lower extreme of the breaker, the lower limit. All right, we're inside of the 5-minute fair value gap at the moment. All right, everyone, we've exhausted our time this morning. So the morning session is now over. We'll take an hour break and then we'll come back at 1300 for an afternoon session. Hope to see you all there. On your way out, make sure you click the thumbs up, like the video, show YouTube that it was a good session this morning and that you enjoyed the content. That's also an indication to me as to how well you're enjoying the content. And subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in an hour. Take care, everyone.